Hello friends, my name is Type 1, and I'd like to welcome you back to our World Building Wednesday series, a series of videos where I go and delve into the 15 years of world building and writing that I've been working on. This is all my own personal story. I'm very excited to share it with you all. Now last time we finished up working on all the large, what do you want to call them, like biomes essentially? Like the large areas, where the geography of the world, if you will. And I said next time in this current video, I said last video that in this video we'd be going over the cities. But I felt it would be more prevalent if we discussed the races of the world before we talked about the places they live. I feel personally that to grasp a better understanding of the places they live, you should know the people that live there first, I think. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing something similar when we get to characters. We're going to discuss the power system in thorough detail before we discuss characters. I just feel like these are the kind of nuances that you want to know before you talk about the broader subject. So we're going to be going over all all 9 races that we have here in, relatively generous detail. So starting off with humans. I mean, we all know humans, right? We know humans. We are humans, for better or for worse. So we are already familiar. Here, I'm going to bold these. And then we're going to do that. We're going to do just like we did up here. So, humans. Humans are an alien race to Penrose that arrive... I don't like that comma. It's a bad comma. That arrives sometime in the last 1 to 2,000 years. Their mere presence on this planet has shifted the entire destiny of the world. To put it lightly, I'm not going to go into too much detail as to why humans were here just yet, because that's a story beat which we'll talk about later, probably much later, but they arrived here, and humans, as humans do, they did human things. You know. I mean, if you pay attention at all to what we do to our own world, you can only imagine whenever they get introduced to the magic space rocks that are on this world, what kind of things can change. Because I will tell you right now... Let's see. 4. At least 4 separate races here are either existed or directly impacted by the single fact that humans even showed up here. So if that tells you anything. Humans are hardy and adaptable to the point that they can have a special synergy with arcana crystals, allowing them to evolve in unique and drastic ways. So that's humans for you. I don't think I need to go into human detail all that much, because I'm like 99.9% sure anyone and everyone watching this video is human, or at least has a deep understanding of what humans are. The main thing with humans is that the crystals that cause, the evolution and mutation here, due to the alien DNA here, they're very foreign to Arcana. They're virtually untouched by it as far as, genetic purity. They've rarely, if ever, encountered this material, so they have much more radical side effects from it, if you will. So I'm going to jump down to Kaolins. Oh, well, there's one more we should talk about. Okay, so... Yeah, I gotta talk about these guys. These are important. Why are you not doing I need you to do the thing. I need you to hold on. Why is this so obnoxious? Just be normal. There we go. We're gonna leave the plural additions off there. Oh, it's way easier. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so vampires. Now, mind you, a large majority of creatures on this planet were named by humans when they first got here and started discovering things. So while technically speaking, vampires weren't like, like literal representations of vampires, they had enough in common with human mythological vampires that that's simply what they were called. We'll just call it a curse for right now, because that's essentially what it is. But again, that's story stuff that we'll get into later. Oop. Okay, hold on. That's gonna drive me nuts as per usual. Yes. This bestial. Is that how you spell bestial? With no A. Oh, yeah. So basically, the feral vampires were beasts. They were monstrous. You've probably seen stuff like them in vampire movies, more animalistic, kind of almost think like the things from the I Am Legend Will Smith movie, except without even less of the thinking. They were little more than animals for the most part. Hardly even animals. They were more like a literal disease. Their main goal was to kill and spread the curse. That was their focus. That is what they existed for. A handful, 7 in total, were able to overcome this thing, this curse, this disease, whatever you want to call it. And upon mastering the abilities, were able to command these feral vampires. And they were just a massive threat. A whole huge, war broke out, and we'll go into what came next, because that's where these three guys come in. Forgive me if my narration isn't quite as clean as it might otherwise normally be. I've been very sick today, and I'm just exhausted. Hopefully on the upswing, but I tell you, dude. It is not fun to rock the stuff I'm forced to. Okay, so Kaolins. Kaolins are the descendants of human vampire hybrids originating from human, no, let's not call them breeding camps, from human feed camps, yeah. Early years of the Vampire Wars. Let's just call them the Vampire Wars. I don't really have... that sounds corny. I don't like that. The Vampire Threat. We'll call it the Vampire Threat. That sounds better. Kaolins are roughly as strong, twice as strong and dexterous as the average human. Let's see. All the abilities of the pure-blooded vampire leaders. Kaolins mostly live... Hold on, let me remind myself of what I named everything. Curse my small, tiny, itty-bitty brain. Okay, Lucinia. There we go. Mostly live in the jungles of Lucinia in a long stretch of zigzagging towns and cities known as the civilized belt. Modern culture of Kaola. Okay, so modern culture of Kaola. Taking only what is needed. They do not overhunt and refrain from mass use, mass harvest of resources. Actually, now it's hard to call them Ovatarians. Okay, so hold on. The diet of Kaolins consists primarily of eggs and meat of the large large isn't good enough. Giant silkworms that they farm. Blood is still consumed, but is widely considered a delicacy saved for holidays and celebrations. livestock. Let's fix that. So they mostly eat eggs and insect meat now because they essentially Kaolins, while they have their own community and country and culture down in Lucinia. Many, especially the older ones, still feel guilt over what their ancestors did, which has formed this idea, this relationship with nature, to never take too much, to give back, and they are largely abhorrent to killing things. They kill only when necessary. I kind of draw on like old Native American culture where you give back to nature as you take from nature and always use all of what you kill kind of thing. Because even though that this is many generations away from the vampires, there's still a large like societal guilt because what happened with the vampires was brutal and awful, and the way Kaolins even came into existence was brutal and awful. But they've made their own way as partly as what they feel is right, and partly as what they feel is reparations, essentially, for their ancestral actions. And like I said down here, they still drink blood like a vampire would, but it's never from humans. Very specifically, it's not from humans. They get it from like livestock, and it is rarely drank. It is a celebratory drink. It's like busting out the fine wine for New Year's kind of thing, you know? Like, you don't just be drinking that every day. So now we come down here to the Edenites. Edenites are the descendants of human refugees who fled to the top of the Mobius Strip during the vampire threat. Due to the... Okay, so y'all gotta bear with me. This is based off real life science, but exaggerated deeply. Low temperature and high altitude alongside natural arcanic mutation. The Edenites developed much higher. Developed a much denser. No, that's not right. To have far more red blood cells than the average human. Other mutations included skin pigmentation ranging from a light pink to a dark brown in... No, not quite dark brown, dark reddish brown in color. Jeez, I'd be overusing commas, dude. So that's one of my like big flaws there. Along with condensed blood horns protruding from their foreheads. It is said the longer the horn, the stronger the Edenite. The Edenites' greatest individual strength is their ability to manipulate blood in the form of weapons. No, that's manipulate. Hold on. Their own blood, weaponizing their own. Their very life force. That sounds better. So basically, Edenites. Okay, so when creatures like birds, for example, live higher in the atmosphere, like they fly up high, those types of birds usually have more blood cells. There's a higher concentration of blood cells. So I kind of ran with that idea and exaggerated a whole bunch. Edenites have more blood, and with the Arcana mutations that they've experienced, they have the ability to control blood even. I've kind of, if you're like curious as to a visualization, I kind of think of it as a middle ground between Avatar's waterbending and Dead Man Wonderland's, blood weapon stuff. I don't remember what that power system was called off the top of my head. But it's kind of in the middle there. This is just going to be obnoxious to me, isn't it? Okay. Let's live in a very rigid society, fearing the abnormal, or no, not quite the abnormal. Fearing outsiders. Especially Kaolins. The Edenite people tend to come off as very... God, why do I keep putting and instead of as? Come off as very cold and aloof. While their city is a technological marvel unlike any other in the world. Their culture tends to be quite close-minded. I do need to go add a little bit up here. Have become much rarer in Penrose in the modern age, being a minority compared to the Kaolins and Edenites, solely due to losses from the vampire threat. I don't know if I should be capitalizing that or not. I mean, I kind of want to, but I don't even know if that's what I want to officially call it. It's more like... It's like calling something the tragedy, you know? It's like, it's not the title of it, but it's describing it. Okay, so there's Edenites. They are a very, very... What do you call it? Not quite... I mean, I guess xenophobic would be the right term. They are not a fan of outsiders, and they really hate Kaolins. Like, a lot. Even though Kaolins are not vampires. They're like genetically, you could match these two together, and these were, like, modern Kaolins would just look like... Kind of like how, well, what did we evolve from? It's like an evolutionary leap, practically. It's like how different they are. Like, you can tell there's a connection, but these right here, Kaolins, are not vampires. Edenites how they came to be, running in fear from vampires and constructing the city. They do not like the Cleolans, not one bit. So those are all right. I think we're gonna get Jim and Calx done, and then we'll do the other ones next week. I'd like to at least cover the ones that are largely significant for the first like half of the story for right now. And as I said, I have been sick today, so I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I won't lie to y'all. I'll do the good YouTuber thing and tell y'all, what's up. But yes, I'm just being lazy. However, I have a good excuse for once, so bear with me. Jim Calx. Until recently, no one even knew the mysterious race known as the Gemma Calx even existed. No. We already used even in this sentence. We don't need to double back. How did I miss one letter, I think? The Earth and the subterranean. Oh, God, I'm misspelling everything, dude. I'm just totally fried today. Fractalia. Hey, see, I told y'all, they come back. There's the race that lives down here. Refugees to the Edenites, though rather than reaching for the highest heights, the Gimmicax strove for the deepest depths. Gimmicax mostly retain a humanoid appearance. Their ruling class deviate quite a bit from the norm due to years of inbreeding and mutation. Calx have a wide variety of skin tones and densities as the race has taken on the properties of gems and minerals. Now, when I say this is less Steven Universe and more Land of the Lustrous kind of thing. These are rock people, essentially. I mean, their insides are coated with like a thick gem shell. They're still, soft and meaty way down deep, but they have this like gem shell. Also have the ability... Dude. Jeez. I swear, I get no messages and notifications throughout the whole day. Second I start recording a video, everyone and their mama wants to talk to me. It's like, dude, I need y'all to chill. To warp and manipulate. So they're essentially earthbenders, like, but specifically with crystals and gems kind of thing. The leaders of the Gemacalcs come in two very distinct classifications: diamond and obsidian. For some reason, I don't really have a particular reason, I just thought they'd be cool like that, right? Perhaps due to years of inbreeding, or perhaps, or maybe just our organic mutation. Have become diamond-coated mantis-shaped creatures, while the men have seemingly lost their intellect, but gained colossal strength under their black coats. And keeping their humanoid shape. There we go. So basically the females have mutated to become stronger, faster, more durable, and vicious for the ruling class, while the men have basically become servile to them. They're huge and humanoid shaped, but they're not all that smart. They are not intelligent creatures, but they are extremely strong and exist to serve the diamond class. Which, yeah, Steven Universe, diamonds ruling. I don't care, dude. Diamonds are like the pinnacle of all gems, okay? It makes sense. Regardless. So that's what we're going to cover today, or cover about half. Next time, like, these two are not going to take very long to go over. They are set dressing more than anything, just nice little extra bits of ecology. These three have story relevance, but for the latter half of the story. So we'll cover all these folk later on, but this is what we have for right now. A near extinct race, an extinct race, a hated race, an elitist race, and an unknown race. Don't you just love it? I do try to be a bit more creative with my fantasy races. I didn't want to just do, orc and goblin and elf ripoffs kind of thing. So I do hope that comes across, that I've put a lot of thought into the origins of these creatures, and I may refine the Gemacalc stuff later, because I could feel myself losing my steam there as I was going through it. But until next time, my friends, my name has been Type 1. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Just let me know how I'm doing. I'd love to hear from all of y'all. But until then, have a good evening, afternoon, morning, and night. Bye-bye.